Coming up on this brand imminent launch of Apple Music, good mistake, we talk about getting show, and we're going to start it for you. Panic, episode number 9, HuShowLuTime, and Echo for everyone. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Don't Panic, the only technology podcast that dares to ask the tough questions like, who wants to be the Michael Larson and Miller? How we hanging, fellas? I picked those in honor of, we had another special event over the last week, because we have on our very show tonight a trivia champion in one Colby Rabidou. So
nice.
We teased it on last week's show.
I won't deny it.
Came on the Goldilocks Zone at GoldilocksShow.com, competed against reigning co-host Matt Mariani, and beat him after an hour of non-stop trivia action by half a point.
Oh my gosh!
It came down right to the
end. And Colby was
it
was some psychology tricks you were playing there. You knew Matt was listening. You didn't want him to over-prepare.
It was
Psych
tough.
him out.
It was tough. Is the Trivia SmackDown 2015 Champion of Champions. And in honor of that, tonight I found out how to cheat at Press, and you'd slam the button, it'd stop on a prize. He actually used his VCR and memorized, because it was always the same sequence of 8 boards every time. Today is the largest single all the money. And Brad Rutter at Planet Earth, $4.5 million total, most of that. So
has he been on other game shows too?
He has, but it's a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of that $4 million prize. There was another Jeopardy tournament which had like a $2 million prize. He's won more than Ken Jennings has at Jeopardy over the years, including beating Ken Jennings several times. I hope those facts were fun for you at home, as they were for me. But I think we have to do this
very
show.
Educated.
Is there anything new you gentlemen want to share from your lives over the last week? Any banter before we get to the tech?
As you won't be able to hear my witty comments as much as you would have otherwise liked to on this show.
Colby's like, well, and we are going to do nonstop shop for technology news, and we do it every week, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, Monday nights on our website, don'tpanic.io. Also go there for all the past episodes, audio, video downloads, links to all the picks we discuss on every episode as well, and links to all our social media where you can listen and how you can subscribe. So don'tpanic.io, the custom-built one-stop shop for everything this program.
It's so fast and stable.
It is beautiful in its simplicity. Or at least it looks simple.
It almost sounds like a backhanded compliment.
No, honestly, I will speak very highly of the Don't Panic website. It's very nice. I know the guys who made it. They're okay.
Acceptable.
Let's start with the news, gentlemen. Any particular story you would like to start on this evening, or shall I pick one out of the pile?
I wanted to talk about, actually, where'd it go? Oh my gosh, I was looking at these and I was like, there's this one I want to talk about. It's not even the one at the top, and Sean's going to be so surprised. The Samsung does something really stupid one.
Yes, I love this story.
Let's start with that one. There we go.
So, jumping in, how many of you have bought a tech device and found it filled with stuff you didn't want or ask for? Stuff that was very hard to remove and usually reduced the quality of your device. Everyone's like waving their hands like maniacs, right? Some call it bloatware, some call it adware. It's pretty much just garbage, right? And it comes pre-installed on a lot of, especially computers these days, but even on smartphones and tablets and other devices. Well, I believe we talked about Lenovo Superfish a while back. If you remember that, that's another example of when it went awry. This week, Samsung, a large manufacturer of laptop computers, had a bit of a kerfuffle after Patrick Barker identified a small program running on Samsung machines called disable_windowsupdate.exe, part of their Samsung Update tool, which updates the Samsung software on your computer. You can guess from the name what it means. It disables Windows Update from automatically running in the background and forces users to have to go into the control panel and do it manually, which all of us Windows users do all the time, like every day. Um, it's bad. Now Samsung has come out and said that here's the quote they gave when the story first came out, quote, "It is not true that we are blocking a Windows 8.1 operating system update on our computers. As part of our commitment to customer satisfaction, we are providing our users with the option to choose if and when they want to update Windows software on their products. We take product security very seriously, blah, blah, blah. Samsung's great." They have since backtracked and said they will turn this feature off in an upcoming update coming to your Samsung computer near you soon. They say they did it so that Windows updates wouldn't essentially break Samsung's updates, because Microsoft's default drivers might not work with the laptop components, so Samsung prevents you from overwriting its own software by disabling Windows Update.
This was a beautiful, beautiful hack by some poor engineer close to the end of a deadline. It's like, well, we can't really figure out how to get the Windows Update thing to work the right way, so why don't we just turn it off, and then our drivers will never get uninstalled. I also really like they found this string in the program that says, "This program helps your Windows configuration settings."
Yeah, okay.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's kind of... I just... It just really sucks. You know, it's one of those issues that everyone knows is wrong, but no one does anything about. Like, all the computer manufacturers do this. This is not new. I mean,
Wasn't Vizio's thing going to be that their computers didn't have any of the stuff? But I've never seen anyone with a Vizio computer.
Yeah, that was a perhaps ill-fated experiment. I will say, and I've said it on the show before, and I am more than happy to repeat it again. If you are in the market for a Windows laptop, go to the Windows Store, either the physical one or their website, and buy it through them. They require manufacturers who sell through the store, it's called Microsoft Signature, do not put adware on their computers. Now, if it's like, I bought my Acer computer through them, and it had a few Acer programs on it, but way, way, way reduced from if you bought it from like a Best Buy. So that is my recommendation. If you're buying a Windows laptop, get it through Microsoft, get it through the Windows Store, and get it Signature, and that is their program to make sure you're getting the best experience. That's probably the best way to avoid it in the first place. But you're right. Everyone does it, and no one seems to really be all that upset about it. I mean, this comes out all the time where they're break all the encryption on your computer. Okay, I'm not going to really care. Oh, it disables Windows updates. All right, big deal. Like, I don't think maybe people don't understand that these companies are fundamentally, like, altering the core experience of your computer and not telling you about it.
Yeah. Did you know that Vizio stopped making computers? I was just looking at this. I don't think we ever talked about it. They sort of silently given up on the computer business.
And they were good looking computers. If I remember, the reviews were that the performance wasn't great, but they were good looking computers.
Yep. Yeah. Feels bad. Anyways, I interrupted you, Colby.
I forget what I was gonna say. I mean, I guess like this sort of thing. I think I do remember. I think that like this sort of thing is the unfortunate trade-off for having a more open platform, right? Like Windows and Android are more open platforms, where OS 10 and iOS are more locked down, and like you can have less fun on Mac OS and iOS. Well, I guess probably more so. I'm sorry, probably less so Mac OS. Like I feel like you could still do a lot of bad stuff, or I mean questionable stuff, but because no one else is reselling it, like there's no bad stuff there, like out of the box. But I don't know,
no built-in bad stuff.
Right. And it's kind of, like I understand why companies like Samsung and HTC or Acer or whoever, like I understand why they put their own software on the devices they sell, because they're trying to differentiate. It's like you could buy, my Windows laptop, or you could buy their Windows laptop, and what's the difference? Well, if it's just they're both straight Windows laptops, like what is the difference? Like the average consumer is not concerned with, they don't know, or probably they don't care to know the nitty gritty details of like the hardware, the components that the computer is actually made up of. They just want a computer. So, I mean, that's what the gimmicky things are for. It's to like say, oh, well, it does this.
And I think part of the bigger problem, and I think this encompasses more than just Windows, is that they're getting into this fight where these hardware manufacturers think they can do the OS better than the OS maker, right? Where they say, we're not going to use Android's browser because we think the Samsung S browser is better. And we don't want Windows to do updates because we think we can do updates better. And like 99% of the time, that's not true. And I think at some point, these companies, like I agree, there has to be differentiation. Yeah. I just think in this specific case, why make your point of differentiation that you're better than Windows updates? Like that's for me, a weird point to say, especially in using Windows 8.1. Updates are crazy seamless. They are like the best Windows updates has ever been. I know it's weird to get excited about Windows updates, but they're actually way better than they used to be. And it's like, I don't know how Samsung could make it any better. I don't know, it's just bothersome. And at least, if you remember Lenovo Superfish, that was way worse, where they were injecting ads into your browsers so Lenovo could make money with adware, and it was breaking the encryption in your browser. Like, that's a whole nother level of shitty. But I just think, like, this is going to keep popping up over and over, and it's going to get to the point where people aren't going to know what's on their computer, and what's running on their computer, and what it came with, and what they can get rid of.
At least with the Lenovo thing, that they didn't write that code, right?
No, that's true, but they chose
they
to
accidentally included something else that did it, and they should have caught that. But here Samsung they actually wrote that code.
Yeah.
And, it was probably like 10 lines of code, which is really funny. I'm laughing with the poor guy who probably unfortunately got fired. They did this.
I'm also surprised how easy it is to disable Windows updates. Like, shouldn't it be harder? Like, I feel like that's...
No, they didn't disable Windows updates, right? They changed the update policy to ask me first.
Yes, that's fair. But, I don't know.
And that's very easy to do. You good old Windows registry that you just press that OK administrative privileges button and off it goes. It can do whatever it wants.
Man, I should...
When are I think... Does OS X have this? I don't really think so. When are desktop operating systems going to catch up with mobile ones where you download a program and it tells you what it has the capability to do, and you only allow it to do those things? Like, and granted, no one was downloading this, but if you downloaded a program and it said, you give me permission to change your Windows update settings or change global application settings, and you'd be like, I don't know if my printer driver should be doing that.
Yeah.
I guess not that you'd have a choice. You have to use that printer, maybe.
Well, that's the Android problem, right?
Yeah, too many.
It's doing all these horrible things.
I meant, like, it's not like you have competition for your printer drivers. It's not like if one printer driver takes too many privileges, you can just try another one.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why this pre-install stuff is so scary. Because you essentially don't have a choice. You can go to another manufacturer maybe, but if they're all doing stuff like this, and it seems like they are.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, though, it's not even about having a choice. It's about having no idea. Like, you literally don't even know.
Yeah. My computer could be leaking my secrets thanks to Acer for years. And I guess that's just the risk you take when you use Windows. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go buy... a MacBook, if you'll excuse me. I gotta have me some of that Force Touch. Yay! Let's continue on. Another story, gentlemen, from the list. What is tickling your fancy right now?
You're up, Colby.
There was one here I was interested in as well. Oh, Foursquare. Mayor. I'm the mayor of something again. It's been years.
Me too.
Or a year.
Mayorships are back. So let's flashback. the year. I don't know, when did they stop doing them?
It's been more than a year, I think.
It's been like 2012, maybe?
Yeah.
It's been quite a while.
It was at least 2013, but yeah.
You may remember a little program called Foursquare. You would check in, see where your friends were, and it would, and if you checked into a place enough, you could one up your friends by being the mayor of that place. And then your friend would check in, and they would be the mayor, and then you'd check in, then you'd be the mayor. And it was kind of a nonsense badge, but it really just proved you went to a place a lot. And sometimes it even came with perks. Well, when Foursquare spun off the check-in side to Swarm, mayorships did not go with it. It was not something you could do. Well, it's back. Mayorships in Swarm. Get excited. You compete with users everywhere. The most check-ins at any business gets you that mayorship. Foursquare said they heard user feedback and wanted to include this. It's now for Android and iOS. Global mayorships to Swarm right now. So they also made it easier to gloat on Facebook and Twitter when you take over a mayorship as well. Something they wanted to point out.
Nice. Yeah. I just thought that was fun. I was a little disappointed when they got rid of mayorships because I was the mayor of like 2 places around my apartment in San Francisco, and then I wasn't anymore. It was sad.
Yeah, I really haven't used Swarm like at all since I moved to the sticks. It's not really check-in friendly because it's like Sean went to work, Sean went home, Sean. It's like
yes.
Although maybe now I'll become the mayor of my work.
There you go.
Indeed.
Right?
That's a pretty good incentive to check in.
I'm not the mayor of my apartment building anymore, but once I become it, there's no chance of anyone taking it away from me because no one checks in there. So you just have to invest a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I wish more of my friends used Foursquare. Especially like I know a bunch of my friends at work use it, but they all live like in Cambridge and Somerville, which is not where I live. So I need my friends who live close to me to start using it. I'm gonna have to start working on them.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, it's the way to go.
Only the cool kids are using Swarm.
Yeah, for sure.
Damn. Well, that's good for them. Good for them. Okay. Unless there's anything more on that, it's a pretty straightforward story. Let's continue on. I guess this means it's my turn to pick. Yep. And I am going to go with, you know me, I'm a big fan of the television. And I thought this story was kind of interesting. So
the television's the thing that you display your Netflix on, right?
Yeah. Yes, it's the smart box that shows the YouTubes.
It's the monitor you hook up to your Roku.
Yes, it's the big monitor in your living room. That's a pretty good way to mention a TV these days. And it continues on with Hulu. So if you know Hulu, they are the streaming service most noted for their television and especially next day currently airing stuff with a lot of ads. Well, they're trying something new, and this is kind of interesting, where they're partnering with HuShowLuTime, the pay cable service. HuShowLuTime already announced they're doing it like an HBO Now type thing where you can buy directly from them at a cost of $10.99 a month. So you can go right to HuShowLuTime, $10.99 a month. But they're partnering with Hulu for a special deal. If you buy HuShowLuTime through Hulu and use the Hulu interface to access HuShowLuTime's shows, which you turn on, it's only going to cost you $8.99 a month, a discount of $2 a month. Now, of course, you also have to pay for Hulu at $7.99 a month. But it's still that $2 discount. You're just buying it through them. It's kind of I think it's actually pretty interesting that Hulu is deciding to, in essence, become like a cable or satellite provider, and that they're, for a fee, rebroadcasting someone else's content through their platform where they already have the mobile apps and the Roku apps and all that kind of thing. The offer goes live sometime in July, probably early July, they say, though there's no obvious date. Gentlemen, any thoughts on this? I don't know. I think it's a cool direction, I think, for Hulu to go. And I also think I pretty much stopped using Hulu because the ads got really, really out of control. Especially
Yeah, I was
for a
gonna
service you
ask, are
pay
they gonna
for.
show ads on Showtime content too?
They haven't said. I'm gonna assume not. I think they would be in big
Can't
trouble if
assume
they
with
did.
Hulu.
Yeah, especially because Showtime doesn't show ads on their regular network, so there's not even like act breaks for ads. So, it would be quite weird.
Hulu doesn't need those. It just cuts them. Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Just like stops the show.
it sucks. I just like even one 30-second ad for each ad break would be okay, but they show like 2 to 3 minutes of ads at every act break.
Mm-hmm.
It's like watching regular TV again, except you're paying for the privilege.
It's really like I got sucked into Hulu. Like I did the free trial because I wanted to watch something, and then I didn't realize that the free trial was only like 7 days, so it like renewed,
And then
so I kept using it.
unsubscribe because you had to call the New York Times. I mean, wait, never mind.
No. But then I like started using it, and now there are like things that I'm in the middle of watching that are like on TV now, but they come out on Hulu, and it's like, I don't want to wait for it to come out on something else, but I don't want to pay for Hulu either because it
Is
makes
Next
me want
Day
to kill
okay?
myself.
Is Next
Yeah.
Day okay for those shows? So you can, you could iTunes it or Amazon it. Amazon it would probably be better for your setup.
I could. I mean, it's still like if I'm consistently watching something every week, though, I feel like Hulu is probably ends up being a more cost-effective deal
It
than
depends how
Amazon.
many things you're watching per week.
That's true. Right now, it's only one.
So it's only like $2 a week.
So it's $8 a month, which is what Hulu costs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, except you're not getting any ads.
That's true, but you have no option value.
And you can download it onto your devices.
Yeah, but I don't do that. I watch it on the TV.
You have service in all of your metros there, so
Oh
this
yeah,
isn't-
that's true.
Must be
not as
nice.
important.
I also commute by leg power now, so
Oh, that's right.
I would
Yeah.
love to watch Colby stream Hulu while biking to work.
While periscoping his bike ride.
With the Google Cardboard, and you can watch the shows on there. And
yeah. And it can just be like a picture-in-picture of like
of what's in front of you.
yeah.
That's a great app. Should build
It is
that.
the fin. That's what HoloLens is
that
going to
input lag is really small, though.
Or else. Yeah. Honestly, what I find with most TV shows is you just have to be really patient because these days, if you just wait till the season ends, most of them go up on Amazon or on Netflix.
Yeah, did
Yeah.
you see S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2 went up last week or the week before?
Yeah,
or
it was like
something
a
that?
week after the season ended.
That was not that.
Like a 2 months, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was a pretty quick turnaround if you're willing to be patient. And actually, I was realizing the other day, too, you know what I'm watching a lot of these days? Netflix originals.
Yeah,
me
Like, they're
too.
all so good.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be that guy, but they're, like, really
Can I
good.
pre-pick something? Can I blow one of my picks I was going to use another week?
Yeah, sure.
Totally.
And Colby already knows this, but one of my favorite parts about being sick is having free license to watch as many documentaries as you want all weekend long and not move.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did. And one of the and that's going to be another one of my picks later. But one of the other documentaries I watched was sort of this Netflix original series of documentaries called Chefs, where it's like 5 or 6, in-depth hour-long profiles of a chef and their life and their restaurant and their food and what they do. And the first one, the others were good. They definitely I'm not done, but I'm 4/6 of the way through. The first one was so good. Like, I would say just watch the first one. It's the third. I looked him up since the show aired. He's now ranked the second best chef in the world, in Italy. The second best chef in the world, but he's in Italy, and his life is just this crazy. Like, he's a spur of the moment cowboy Renaissance man, just like his life. Never mind the food. Like, it doesn't matter what this guy does. Like, I would have been fascinated. And the way it was put together, like, did you all watch Jiro Dreams of Sushi, the
No.
documentary? All right. Anyways, it reminded me like the slow, high def pans of the food, and you get these pans of the food where it's like in motion, where they've just like set it on the plate, so like the dressing is still settling or the garnish is still like unfolding, and it looks so cool. Anyways, yeah, Netflix originals.
I did
I've yet
watch
to be
that one,
disap-
Dan.
You did?
I watched that the first episode.
Of Chefs.
Yeah.
Wasn't that guy amazing?
He was pretty cool.
Oh my
He had a
gosh.
pretty wacky time, it seemed like.
Yeah. Oh wow. I'm so glad you did. The others are good to have on, but that one was the only one I was like glued to the episode.
Cool.
I'll have to put that on my queue. Yeah, the reviews have been great for it. So,
Yeah, very highly reviewed.
man, Netflix is so good.
It's
Damn.
true. What do you get from Hulu? Does Hulu have original stuff? I guess they must.
Yeah, they do. I'm trying to think. Nothing that really I've watched that has really grabbed me. I also never really got into any of the Amazon original stuff.
One of the Amazon ones is supposed to be good, right?
Yeah, there were a small handful that were supposed to have
Is it
promise.
the Dome one that's supposed to be good?
Well, Transparent is the one that's supposed to be with Jeffrey Tambor.
Oh, I don't know.
He won the Golden Globe for that this year. It's supposed to be.
Is that the one with the guy from Arrested Development who's a
woman?
transgender?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh. Yeah, that's supposed
Right.
to be good. I don't really watch any of the other stuff. I don't know. There's not enough time to watch all this stuff.
It's true.
I just
I
gonna have to
know.
quit my
You
job.
need to watch everything on 1.5 speed.
Oh, there you
Because then
go.
you still get the sound. You can get through a show like 50% or like 25% of the time it would have taken you. Or in 75% of the amount of time it would have taken you, rather.
Oh, and I'll just quickly point out that we have a fan who commented on the YouTube stream from Chile.
Whoa.
Hola.
What up?
So that's pretty neat. Thanks for watching, live viewers.
Yeah.
We enjoy you as much as you hopefully enjoy us. Let's continue on, gentlemen. Another story.
So
please.
how much we enjoy you depends on how much you enjoy us. So
Yes.
you better enjoy us a lot.
Say really nice things, please. Our egos need all the help it can get. Gentlemen, another story here that's tickling your fancy? That's piquing your interest?
Apple Music. I was actually...
Yeah.
Did we talk about this whole Lady Gaga and then the reversal thing last week? Or was
Taylor
that
Swift.
all... Taylor Swift, yes. What do I know,
It's
right?
the same thing. Dan, I swear to God, it's the same thing, man.
Wow.
Hannah Montana.
You're
I don't
an
touch
adult
much.
man. You should not
Lady
know the
Gaga.
difference. So don't worry about it.
Wait, who
I
is...
don't know.
Who did Hannah Montana become? Isn't she someone
Miley
else now?
Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus, okay.
It's all the
Sorry.
same, Dan.
Miley Cyrus played Hannah Montana on the TV show.
But she sang as Hannah Montana for a couple years, right?
Yeah,
Like,
kind of.
yeah.
like
She
you would
she,
go to the
like,
Civic
toured,
Center
like,
and see Hannah Montana,
Montana,
not
yeah.
Miley Cyrus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a blurry line between
Anyways.
fantasy and reality.
Did we talk about the Taylor Swift thing
I'm
last
trying
week?
to remember. I think we ran out of time. I don't think we got
Okay.
to it.
This was I actually thought this was a really interesting story. And it got me more interested in Apple Music as a result, which is part of why the story is interesting.
Yeah.
Would you like me to recap?
Sure. I would recap, but I'll start coughing in the middle.
Oh, no one wants that. To quickly recap, if you haven't been on the internet in the last 2 weeks, Apple Music, when first announced, said everyone's getting a free 3-month trial. Everyone. Free. 3 months. People are excited. Apple slips in the announcement, by the way, we're not going to pay artists for those 3 months because we're not charging customers. So obviously we can't pay artists to use their music, right? That'd be crazy. And Taylor Swift took up the mantle for artists everywhere and said, that kind of sucks. Like, you're kind of stealing our music. Wrote a very nice letter on Tumblr. Eddie Q from
And it
Apple.
actually was very nice. That
was.
was one of the things I read the articles about it, and I was like, oh, this must be some like, and this was before later events. I was like, this must be some crazy grandstanding thing. And then I read the article, and it was like the most reasonable article ever. It was like if you were friends with Tim Cook and Eddie Q and like a distant cousin, and you wrote them a letter. Like you wouldn't be presumptuous. That was like that. So deferential, praising everything. I was surprised.
Yeah, it was very clear, and I think made a lot of sense, and that's I think why a lot of people got really excited. And Apple, within I don't know the exact time frame, but it was something like 24 or 48 hours. It was a very quick turnaround. Apple came out.
It was that night.
We're going to pay artists for the 3 months. Everyone relax.
And how did they announce it?
On Twitter. Eddie Q posted
Yeah.
on his Twitter, which is quite rare for Apple. Posted on his Twitter and said, "Don't we hear you, Taylor Swift? We're going to pay the artists." A little bit of a follow-up controversy in that Apple made it clear that they were going to pay the major labels, but it's still up in the air exactly how much independent artists may get from this deal. So no one knows the exact amount of compensation, just that they will in some way be compensated. Still TBD. But some victory, at least for Taylor Swift, as leading up to the launch of Apple Music tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, when iOS 8.4 will be released into the wild. As well, Beats One Radio, which we've talked about, their broadcast will begin 1 hour later at 12 p.m. Eastern, the never-ending radio station.
I'm pretty interested to try Apple Music.
Yeah, me too. If the app is good and it has all the stuff that Spotify has, that's a pretty good sell. And like, I'm really interested in trying the human curated thing. Like, if the radio station is actually interesting, then I think that's worth paying for, because you have to subscribe to listen to the radio station, right?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting idea, because every like once every week or so, I'll just troll through some of those Spotify playlist radio. I guess it's a radio. The radio stations, like, oh, here's like the jazz radio station, and it's good. I'll listen to 5 songs, and one of them I'll put in my list of songs so they'll come up when I play my regular music. And that's nice. But it definitely feels sort of random. Like the fact that it's only 1 out of 5. Like, couldn't they do better? They know all the musical things about me that they could possibly know. I listen to almost all my music through Spotify. Why can't they predict, more precisely what it is I want? Like, Amazon and Facebook can predict all sorts of things about what I want. So if Apple could do that by the human touch, I'm gonna give it a shot, and maybe just like the Apple Watch, I'll be the only one. So I'll report back here.
Yeah.
No, I'm planning on trying it.
With their 30-day free trial that now we can use guilt-free thanks to Taylor Swift.
That's probably the smartest thing they could have done. Is get everyone hooked on it for 3 months and say, try it. And
3 months?
It's 3 months. It's a
holy
it's a
smokes.
good-sized trial.
Wow, that's a really long time.
But if you think about it, it's really smart because it takes you a while to get up to speed on these new music services, right? You have to make playlists and start putting in your input on what you like and don't like and finding new artists. And 3 months to me sounds like a pretty good period of time where at the end of that, you're going to have some amount invested in the service. And so good on them for doing that. I don't think a week or 2 weeks is enough to do that.
Never mind, we'll all be trying it then.
Yeah, well, it's free. I mean, hey, listen, I've said before, I do not need another music service, but I'll try it because it's free.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I've gotten my Pandora to such, I've been using it for years, and it is so perfect. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's like a diamond. It's just gorgeous. How perfect. You just click the button, and it's always music I like. Like, I never have to thumbs down anything. It's amazing.
Maybe I
do
should try
not
Pandora again.
I do not find pleasure in the algorithmically generated playlists in whatever form they come. I don't know why. I like to decide what to listen to.
And I think that's what all these services are getting right. There's another story in the rundown here about Google Music launching free, what they call free streaming, and normally you have to pay Google for access to the catalog of streaming. What's free is human curated playlists with ads. And what I think these services are realizing is people listen to music in a lot of different ways. I'm the kind of guy, I rarely listen to new to me music. I pretty much just listen to the same songs over and over and over and over and over again, and I'm fine with that. And in which case, Pandora works pretty well because I've thumbs up enough stuff that it just plays me all the stuff I've thumbs up. So, whereas some people like Dan Miller, knows what he likes to listen to, but also wants to discover new things, and wants these services to recommend based off of what he's already listened to, come up with good things that are similar in a kind of human curated way. I get that. It's going to be different for each person. That's why I think it's good for all these services to try different things and figure out. Maybe Beats One will be this great success because it turns out all we ever wanted was a DJ radio station we could get on our phones that plays the hits. Like, maybe that's the answer. I don't know, but at least they're trying.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is something, I don't know, like radio can be enjoyable, but advertisements on radio suck a lot.
I have Sirius satellite radio in my car, and I know you guys don't know anything about cars, but I have satellite radio.
Do you still have to drive those, or do they drive themselves?
Those are the boxes with 4 wheels, right?
Well, when I have a cheeseburger in one hand and a phone in the other, they kind of do drive themselves. But I have satellite radio, and I actually really like it. I really like the stations, and that's because they're kind of DJ'd in a way. It's a little different on satellite because I think it's a little more algorithmic too, but I find what they play is better than if I went into Spotify and clicked 80s radio and just played it. For some reason, I guess it's just for each person it's different, but if I could get that kind of thing through Apple, that'd be great. I don't know. I think people are just going to have to keep picking pieces of what they like and figure it out. I don't think there's one answer.
I agree.
Like everything in life. Damn it. Okay. We have time for one more quick story before we get to picks. Is there anything left in the list that is begging to be discussed? According to you gentlemen. Here today on the radio. Speak now or don't.
Amazon
I have
Echo.
an idea. Oh, I just deleted something in the spreadsheet by accident.
No, we already did that one. Amazon Echo. I want to talk about this actually because I have a mission. But before we get to that, let's talk about this. We've talked about Echo on the show before. That's that little cylinder Amazon sells that you buy and you put in your home, and it's always listening, and it's called Alexa, and you just say, Alexa, how many ounces are in a cup? And then it just tells you because it's always listening. Alexa, play Apple Music, and then it just laughs because obviously it doesn't work with Apple Music. And those sorts of things. It's like a little personal assistant speaker you keep in your home. Before it was in beta only, and it was very hard to get. The shipping times were outrageous. Well, it is now available to you, the fine public. You can order it through Amazon's website. $179.99, starts shipping July 14th. Since they first launched it, a lot of new integrations. Hub for the smart home, so it's compatible with things like Wemo and Philips Hue. It connects to Pandora and Prime Music. It can read Google Calendar events. It's got IFT integration, which is super cool, so you can do recipes and things like that. And you can order products directly through it by just saying, hey, purchase me more toilet paper, and it will do it. Isn't life amazing? Which brings me to my mission, right? Now, one of the three of us on this program has been, over the last several months, outfitting his apartment with cool smart home stuff. And I think the one missing piece of the puzzle is an always listening smart speaker that he can talk at. And nothing and nothing would make me happier than Colby Rabidou shouting to an invisible woman in his home to turn the lights on and off. What do you say, Colby? Will you take the Amazon Echo Challenge?
I'm not sure. I think, to be honest, I think I might have to talk to Jill about that because I'm pretty sure she would not be on board.
Don't want to bring another woman into the relationship. Hey, I don't blame you, man. I do not blame you.
No. Jill is very skeptical of technology, and it took me a while to work her up to the being okay with the lights connected to the computer. And I think the always listening thing
might be too much.
Yes, yeah. So we'll see what happens. But
I just like putting you on the spot.
What if you glued the Echo onto a Roomba, and then you had a thing rolling around on the floor that you could yell out to turn the lights on?
Dan, all you'd have to do is put like a wig and some lipstick on it, and Colby's a serial killer. So it's a very slippery slope at this point. At this point, Colby's made himself a robot girlfriend, and we're all very concerned for his well-being.
Yeah, a robot girlfriend that looks nothing like a human.
Nope.
It's just a stick on a disc on the floor.
But hey, she'll buy you stuff through Amazon, so...
What?
And vacuum your floor.
And vacuum your floor. I love it. Come to Don't Panic for the great life advice. Improving people's lives one show at a time.
Through technology.
Through technology. That's exactly right.
Super glue.
Improving people's lives in spite of technology.
Yeah, to be honest, I actually think the Echo is kind of cool. I mean, I'm not gonna buy one because I'm trying to be good about buying things I don't need. But I actually think like they're doing a good job adding more features and more integration, and I don't know. I feel like with the right combination of stuff, that's actually a really appealing concept. I don't know. I'd be curious to see maybe version 2. I don't know, but it is interesting.
I think it'd be cool to not have to go over to the iPad that's stuck to my fridge and turn it on to play podcasts. I think that would be cool.
Can't you do that from your phone?
Yeah, but I mean, I still have to turn my phone on. I've been very frustrated lately with how slow the phone is, how slow it is on my top of the line late model iPhone, how long it takes to unlock the phone and then start up Spotify. It's too slow. And I'm tired of it. That's why I like my watch, because it's super fast.
There you go.
I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
Can't take this shit anymore.
I'm going to a watch.
I lose seconds of my life every time I want to I don't know, go change the song or something. It's some bullshit. Not change the song, but put on a song.
There was a great video going around the internet today of Google's latency testing robot. I don't know if you saw this. And it's literally they strap an Android phone to it, and it's this little robot finger, and it goes, and it's and they just over and over and over again, and they're testing the latency of the phone, and it was very weird.
Sure. No, I can see that because it's hard to do it any other way, right?
Yeah,
how else are you supposed to do it?
It's very automatic and very rigorous, and they have whole labs dedicated to, breaking stuff and testing stuff and making sure the phones work.
I'm sure Apple has one of those labs, just like they have the Bend lab.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's locked way underground in their secret lair, but
right in Johnny Ive's white room.
That's right, in the center of the Apple spaceship. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, let's move on from that and the news to picks, the part of the show where, if you're new, maybe you don't know what picks are. It's the part of the show, we've done it since episode 1, where we each decide we're going to highlight something that we think is great. Maybe it's a service we use or a product we bought or a person we like or a show we enjoyed. Who knows? There's really no limits on what you can and cannot pick. We've had, I think Colby once picked the weather, if I remember correctly, one time. So there's no limits on what you can and can't pick here on the show. And I think we've got a pretty good list here. And I'm going to start with Dan because I have absolutely no clue what this is that he picked.
It's one of my favorite things ever. And I couldn't believe that I hadn't picked this before. So Louis Theroux is a BBC documentarist. and he does these hour-long documentaries, and he has a couple dozen of them at this point, and they're topics ranging from uh, Indian guru religions to the Westboro Baptist Church. And his sort of MO is he goes and he just like lives with whatever the subject is. Prostitutes, Indian gurus, transgender children, the Westboro Baptist Church, which is a fascinating one. Somehow he convinces all these people to let him into their lives. And then the coolest thing, he has like his interview style is sort of like I imagine it crossed between like an investigative journalist, what is that guy's name? Something more, the like crazy documentary guy who just like, ambushes
Michael
you
Moore.
at Michael Moore, and the most shy British person you've ever met. So he's very open, he's very honest, but he asks questions that the viewer is thinking. Like he's sitting there in the Westboro Baptist Church with his unassuming English accent, meek little nerdy look, and he's just like he's asking, he's like, but do you really like? Do you actually hate these people? Like, I know you say that. I know you have to say it, but do you actually hate them? And he's not being an asshole. He's not trying to like condescend or make fun of them. He's like, honestly though, like I'm just trying to understand. But it's hilarious. It ends up being so funny because of how honest and plain it is. It's just one of my favorite things. He has many, many documentaries, and this weekend I learned that he's released 3 more this year after a several-year hiatus. A 2-parter covering what happens to people who are innocent because of the fact that they're not capable of standing trial. There's a phrase for it. When the insanity plea, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you plead insanity, then what happens to you? So he goes and he spends all these time with these people in this asylum who are being sort of cared for to be released back into society, who have committed horrible, horrible crimes, but were not convicted because they were found not capable of standing trial. Really interesting. And then another one on transgender children in the Bay Area, which was also fascinating. Like, when like the children, are they necessarily capable of making these decisions? And then all of the like psychology stuff that goes into it was really eye-opening. And it's also funny. So they're educational, they're funny, they're really good. A bunch of them are up for free on YouTube, probably illegally, because Louis Theroux and Game of Thrones are the 2 things I cannot buy in the United States. You cannot you cannot give this man money. You cannot. Not on iTunes, not on Amazon, nowhere. Netflix, nothing. But there's many of them are available in full hour-long YouTube videos. So just look up Louis Theroux, LouisTheroux on YouTube, and you'll find some great stuff. A day's worth of couch laying. And
if spelling's hard for you, the link will be on the website, don'tpanic.io.
Yes, I linked to my favorite one, which is the Indian Gurus one. And he just, it's the best example of him just diving in. One of the gurus, right at the beginning, asked him to do something ridiculous. Just like, you hear this at the viewer and you're like, no, there's no way he's just going to like up and do what this guy's telling him to do. And then he does it. And he commits 100%. He just goes for it. It's so good.
Wow. Dan, I'm kind of mad at you because you ruined my 4th of July weekend. I just added a bunch to my YouTube watch later list, so...
Oh, I forgot about YouTube Watch Later.
Yeah, it's not really that useful, but this way I get them up on the big screen on my Roku. So
right,
I'm gonna go watch them later.
It'll be perfect on there.
Very good, cool pick. I think tonight's gonna be a list of really cool artsy picks. I'm excited. And Colby, you're up next, and you're doing double duty.
Yeah. So the reason I have 2 is that I had the second one is the one I wanted to pick, and I couldn't for the life of me remember what it was. So I picked this other one, which I also kind of want to pick, but it was like random. I wasn't planning on it. But then I remembered what the second one is. And because if I don't pick the second one now, I'm going to forget for next week. I'm just going to do them both. So the first one, which was my impromptu pick, is one of my favorite Etsy shops. It's called One Star Leather Goods, and they make things out of leather, as you might have guessed from the name. So they make things like wallets, one of which I have. They also make belts, one of which I have. I've had a belt from them for like 4 years now, going strong. And I just recently got a watch band for my Pebble, so now I'm a cool hipster
nice.
Pebble wearer.
Oh man,
yeah.
that's awesome.
So now I'm up to 3, and like these are things that I've had. Like I have a wallet and a belt, and I've had those for years now, and they like just get better with. Oh, my wallet's right here too. It's super cool. Like they just get better with age. I don't know. So it's fantastic. Like they are. Admittedly, this stuff is kind of like on the expensive side, but it lasts forever. So I think the you could buy a $15 wallet at Target and it'll last you for like 9 months or whatever, and then it'll fall apart and you can buy another one. Or you could buy, an $80 wallet that's like hand sewn of like the finest leather. And it'll last you for I don't know. Mine's at like 3 years and counting now, or 2 years and counting maybe. But it's been a while and it feels good. So I really like all this stuff on there. It's all been really great and like definitely worth the semi steep price tag. So that's my first pick. My second pick is a movie I watched this weekend. It came out last year. You might have remembered because it was like up for Oscars and things. It's called The Grand Budapest Hotel. And it's a Wes Anderson movie. So if you Wes Anderson, I guess he makes a lot of like he has a very unique style. Like he made The Life Aquatic, and like Sunrise Kingdom. And it's hard for me to describe because I don't think I'm in touch with like the film jargon enough to like say what Wes Anderson's style is. But it's very cool in the Grand Budapest Hotel, in addition to being like a really neat, like kind of a fun, funny story. It was also like the way in which it was filmed and like the attention to detail in the film is literally amazing. So you should watch that because it was great. And also, if you have HBO Go, it is on HBO Go. So that is how I watched it for $0.
Oh.
Well, 0 not already spent dollars. But yeah. So those are my picks.
Cool. Very cool.
You're up, Sean.
And again, we'll have links to both on our website. Yeah, I gotta keep the art theme going. I'm so thrilled that we like weirdly we've never done this before. I swear to God, it took 96 episodes for us to have a theme for all the picks, and I'm thrilled. My pick is I will tell you a short story. So I use Chrome on my computer at work, and I have this habit. I have 2 monitors. I always tend to leave Chrome up in one and whatever I'm doing, Outlook or whatever, on the other. And I almost never close Chrome, but sometimes I don't have any tabs open, so it's the new tab screen. And new tab by default in Chrome, it's not very attractive, and it shows the last couple websites you visited in the Google search box, and it's kind of ugly. It's not good at all. So I was thinking of a way to make it more attractive, and they've got one with all these widgets, and ones where I'll tell you the weather, and I said, that's all lame. And then somewhere online I read about the Google Art Project, and I said, well, this seems really interesting. It is a Chrome, I forget what they call them, an app or an extension or whatever. I never quite understood the distinction between those, but you can get it from the Chrome store. It's free. It's called Google Art Project, and again, there'll be a link on the website. And what it does is it replaces your new tab screen with a work of art, a full screen work of art. There's no buttons, there's no search box, there's no nothing. It's just a big old piece of art, which is kind of cool. And the art changes every single day. and you never know what you're going to get. So I'll put up on screen for those of you at home to look at the art today. What's great is it's this cool. It's usually always some kind of painting. They're all things I've never seen before. Not that I'm an art expert, but it's always something new. And what's great is when you mouse over it, it actually tells you the name of the piece of art, the person who created it, and where you can view it. So this piece right here, it's some sort of mural. It's called Unknown by an artist called Seth at the Museum of Public Art, and it's actually, I think, a pretty interesting piece. Anyone can ask you, I'm very skeptical on art. I'm very skeptical on art. I think art is like a waste of time and money. But Google Art Project, and I know, I can, me.
Is there going to be a podcast episode where we discuss this?
Maybe it should be. But to be honest, and maybe this is the point, I've never actually taken the time to look at art that closely, and some of the things that they've put up on this new tab have actually been crazy impressive things I had never seen before. Like really good paintings, and they're really high quality, and you really can see the details on your monitor. Honestly, if you're just using the by default Chrome tab screen, you will be doing yourself a favor by downloading this. It is I think, a big upgrade and just a new way to learn about some new art. And then all of my coworkers who see it are like, what the hell is that? What is on your screen? And I go, they all think I'm weird, but it's because I am. So it's called the Google Art Project. The link will be on the website. It's for Chrome. Check it out. Get some art on your new tab. Oh my goodness! Now that we're all arted out, the problem is Colby's going to get me spending a lot of money on fine leather goods. That is my concern right now. When my new Pebble gets here, that watch band looks nice.
It is, and it fits. The nice thing about the Pebble is that it is a standard 22 millimeter watch band. So I just bought this watch band that you would buy for any other watch, and it works. It fits on my Pebble. The one annoying thing is this is. I guess this is a solvable problem I could have gotten, but this is an all-around watch band. So to charge my Pebble, I have to take the pin off, one of the pins off, because the charger is on the back. But luckily, I only have to charge my Pebble every 5 days. So
nice.
What are you gonna do? Yeah.
Nice.
I'll take that action.
I love it. Better than giving Apple $50 for a plastic watch band.
That's true.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it. We're done. We've concluded. This is it. Finite. The end. This has been Don't Panic. Gentlemen, anything you'd like to tell the world before we conclude for this evening?
I don't know.
I guess we'll just collectively hope Dan feels better.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th.
Oh, yeah.
Go
Yeah.
America.
Happy birthday, USA.
Happy birthday, USA. We've made it this far. Let's try to at least get another year out of it.
We made it around the sun one more time.
That's right. So go have some barbecue and some beers and try not to fall off a boat. Very good. We appreciate all of you out there for watching. Of course, I'll remind you, again, don'tpanic.io is the website. Links to everything you'll need are right there. Social media, where to subscribe, where to listen, past episodes, audio, video. All of the pics are linked for every episode there as well, don'tpanic.io. And I'll just plug one more time, if you're a fan of game shows and trivia, you got to watch Colby beat Matt. Sorry to spoil the ending, by the way. I just realized that now. I probably shouldn't have led with that. It's a great, like I said, only by half a point, so you're still going to want to listen at GoldilocksShow.com and SoundCloud.com/GoldilocksShow as well. So with that, I remind everyone we'll be back next Monday Night Live, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. I recommend you watch live. Our live viewership's been picking up. I don't know what happened, but people around the globe are watching. Be part of the conversation at Don't Panic Show on Twitter, and watch us Monday nights. So if you subscribe to us on Twitter, I send out a tweet when we're live, so that'll be a good reminder. And hopefully we'll see you next Monday with more tech news. But until then, on behalf of Colby and Dan, this is Sean wishing you a fair good night.